Okay, so, like, imagine this, right? You're with your English-speaking friends, and someone's like, hey, let's do something this weekend. Hey, and you just clam up instead of, like, feeling that relaxed, yeah, cool, let's hang out vibe. You're worried about sounding, I don't know, weird or awkward when you try to suggest something, or even just respond. Anyone else feel that? Well, good news. Today we're diving deep into making weekend plans in English. And believe me, it's way more fun than memorizing verb tenses. We've got a ton of cool language resources to dig into today. Like, there's this awesome podcast, Lemon Listen. They're all about English for, actually living your life. They've got this example dialogue about making plans that I found super intriguing. What about it stood out to you?
Well, it's really interesting how they capture that casual back and forth flow that makes a conversation feel natural. It's not just about conveying information, it's about building that connection. And they use these really simple phrases that act like building blocks for a natural conversation, which is so key to sounding fluent and confident, even if you're still learning.
Totally. So in their example, we've got these two friends, Lenny and Lucy, chatting on the phone. Or Lenny's like, hey, you free this weekend? Seems simple enough on the surface, but I bet there are some subtleties there that make it sound smoother than, like, what are you doing this weekend? What do you think?
Oh, for sure. It's direct, which is good,
Mm.
but it's also friendly and open-ended, right?
Yeah.
Lenny's not assuming Lucy's free. He's just putting it out there to see what her weekend looks like.
Yeah, it's an invitation to a conversation more than like a straight up question. And then Lucy's response. She doesn't just say yes or no, which, let's be honest, can feel a little abrupt. You know what I mean?
Totally. Instead, she's like, let me check my calendar. It shows she's taking the question seriously, being considerate of her time, but it keeps that conversational ball rolling.
It's like saying, I'm into the idea, but let me make sure I'm actually free. Subtle difference, but it makes the whole thing feel so much more natural. Okay, so Lenny knows Lucy's open to hanging out, and he suggests, how about we go hiking at Lemon Grove Park? I like that he phrases it as a suggestion, not a command.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
How about we? It's like the magic formula for making plans in English. It brings the other person into the decision-making.
Right, like, you're in this together.
Exactly. And it's so much more engaging than just, do you want to? It shows you're interested in their input, that you value their company.
It's about collaborating on an awesome weekend plan. And again, Lucy doesn't just say, okay, which, could come off a little passive. She's like, hiking sounds good to me. Adding a little bit of enthusiasm, making it clear she's genuinely into it, not just like passively agreeing to whatever Lenny throws out there.
Yeah, I love that. That little bit of enthusiasm goes a long way. It tells Lenny that she's excited about the plan.
Yeah.
Adds to that feeling of connection.
It's like they're building momentum together for this weekend adventure. Haha. Okay, so we've got that open-ended invite, the thoughtful response, the collaborative suggestion, the enthusiastic agreement. It's like a little communication dance, isn't it?
It totally is.
Yeah.
And like any good dance, it's all about the flow and the connection.
So there's this part in the Lemon Listen dialogue that totally caught my ear, no pun intended. Lenny uses the phrase, play it by ear. He's like, if they're busy, we can just play it by ear. And it just sounds so natural. But I gotta admit, the first time I heard that, I pictured like someone pulling out a harmonica. Ha. Can you break down what playing it by ear really means in this context?
I love that. Idioms are the best. They could be so confusing if you take them literally, right? But once you get them, they just make your English sound so much more colorful.
Okay, so no instruments involved. What's the real deal?
Basically, playing it by ear means being flexible, going with the flow, not having every little detail planned out in advance, which is perfect for, the unpredictable nature of weekends.
For real. Stuff happens, other friends might want to join, the weather could change, you can't control everything.
Exactly. And using this idiom shows you're adaptable, easygoing, which are great qualities to have when you're making plans with friends.
No one wants to be stuck with a drill sergeant for a friend, haha. It's like saying, let's be open to possibilities, see what happens. So much more chill than stressing over a minute-by-minute itinerary.
Right. 1,000,000 times better. So are you ready for a few more of these conversational gems?
Hit me with them. I'm ready to level up my English game.
All right, so let's say you're slammed with work or something unexpected pops up, and you got to decline an invitation.
Ugh, the worst. What's a smoother way to handle that than just blurting out, nope, can't do it?
Okay, try this on for size. I'm going to have to take a rain check.
Yeah.
It's like a magic phrase for politely bowing out while keeping those future plans alive.
So it's not a no, it's a not right now.
Exactly. You're acknowledging that you'd love to join in another time.
So much better than a guilt-ridden, sorry, it can't.
Way better. Okay, now imagine this. You're planning a barbecue, a game night, something fun, and you want to give off that welcoming, the more the merrier kind of vibe.
Yes. How do you make it clear that everyone's welcome to bring friends without, like, explicitly stating it?
Boom, you just said it. The more the merrier.
So obvious, yet so brilliant.
Right. It instantly makes everyone feel included, excited about the possibility of a bigger group.
No awkwardness about who's allowed to invite who.
It's like a big open invitation to fun.
Okay, last idiom challenge. You ready?
Hit me with it.
Let's say you're out with friends, maybe a concert or a party or whatever. It's getting kind of late, you know? How do you suggest heading home without, like, killing the vibe?
Oh, I've totally been there.
Yeah, you don't want to be a bummer, but you also don't want to be that person who's, like, falling asleep on the couch.
Right, exactly. You got to be smooth about it.
Yeah.
So call it a night comes in.
Call it a night.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I feel like I say that sometimes, but I never really thought about it.
It's so simple, but so effective. It's like a subtle way of saying, hey, I'm ready to head out, but without like any pressure on anyone else.
So much better than that awkward, well, maybe we should.
The worst.
Or like discreetly checking your watch. Ha ha!
Busted. No, call it a night is perfect. It's all about being cool and casual.
It's like you're giving permission for everyone to play it by ear.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're connecting those idioms like a pro.
This is awesome. I feel like we've given our listeners a whole toolkit for sounding like a natural, you know.
Totally. And the best part is, the more you use these phrases, the more confident you'll become.
It's like anything else, practice makes perfect, right?
Absolutely. So go out there, try out these phrases, have fun with it.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn.
Exactly. And most importantly, remember that language is about connecting with people.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's not about being perfect. It's about sharing experiences, building relationships.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So go out there and connect with the world.
Rock on.